Three here, Guava. Good to see you. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. And I hope your family is safe. I hope your family is well. Um, all prayers go out to the fallen, the people that didn't make it through this storm. Uh, it's been rough on everybody, but the people that made it through, I want to say, keep going. Just because you're okay, you still have people to help. You're okay, but there are people in other places that's not okay. Okay? So please look out for those that still need help if you're okay. With that being said, as of 3 o'clock, almost an hour ago, our power came back on. Our power came back on. Boom! Just the AC started running, the plugs, everything, right while I'm getting some of the best solar that you could imagine. I'm still charging all of my devices through solar. And you'll hear the fan on the EcoFlow kick in a minute because it's 92%. I was almost charged up. I got I'm not gonna lie. It was crazy. Well, I don't know. I lost count. What was it? 5, 6 days, whatever it's been. I truly lost count. Uh, and just because it's down, back up now, means nothing. There's other storms out in the middle of the ocean swirling around, and I don't think they're going to come in, and I don't think they're going to hit us. But just seeing that there's still more powerful hurricanes. It's been 6 days. Just seeing they're still coming back to back, let you know it's not over. It's not over yet. Listen, for all those that don't know, it is hurricane season. This is what's supposed to happen every single year. Spring and fall, y'all know how this works. Say if you were in Texas, that power wouldn't be back on in a month. Well, if some people around in my location still don't have power. So I'm not hip hooraying right now, because right now is, to me, is false. Let me see 1 second here. I'm still not let me stop that. I'm still not impressed yet. Listen, I don't get all happy and giddy too quick. The air conditioning came back on and everything else. My refrigerator was running. Now, what do we want to talk about? We want to talk, well, we'll save that for another time. I'm going to tell you each and every product that I used on the next video. I'm going to tell you how I used it. I'm going to tell you how I liked it. And I'm going to tell you whether it was a winner or a failure. Everything I used, everything. Okay? And I had a lot of winners and I had a lot of losers when it comes to solar power generators. I had some that didn't quite stand up to what they were saying about their efficiency, and then I had some that just knocked it out of the park and went above and beyond. Do you have a video showing your Nomad? Yes, please just type in Lead Farmer 73 Nomad. You're going to see my wife holding it up. I'm going to show you something else that I purchased a couple days ago. Okay, my wife needed the Nomad for her business. She works online like constantly. So we couldn't both share it because I keep having to run back and forth different places. I needed the Wi-Fi too. So I've been testing something else out. Now, I'm not sponsoring this at all, but I've been testing this out. Now, I'll put the link to that down in the description box after this video. But this is the T-Mobile hotspot. I've been carrying this around with me when she needs the Nomad. She needs all the power to the Nomad to do what she's doing. Hey, Missy Hawk. Hey, Adina Collins. So far I'm impressed. It's not as fast. It's nowhere as fast as the Nomad. But it kept me from doing a lot of glitching on these videos I've been using. So I'm impressed. So far, so good, right? Now we're gonna do this water filter, but I'm gonna have a hard time. A lot is still going on. No, we got power now. It just came on an hour ago. It came on at about 3 o'clock, a little after 3. And I still have so much to show you because it's not over. I said this 8 years ago and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep showing this stuff. Gardening, prepping, homesteading, because this is not over. Protection, this is not over. Everybody's, when they lights come on, they put the generators away, they put the cords away, they put the solar panels away, and they figure, I got everything I need, I'll wait till next time. But here's the problem with that. You need to know how this stuff works, and you need to make a better plan. For everybody that jumped on top of it, got your generators going, your solar going, your gas and your fuel and your propane going, all your preps, please listen to me closely. You need to work on your plan. Even me, myself, I just worked on a better plan situation for if this happens again. Now, I've never in this house been down for 6. Do you feel like you had everything I needed? Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember I was telling y'all to have a home base. Have one room that you designate for everything. One room in your house to designate where y'all gonna be sleeping, where y'all gonna be eating, where y'all gonna be sitting, where y'all gonna be doing everything. You need to concentrate all of that stuff into one room. Don't try to heat a whole household. Try to heat one room if possible. If you trying to cool off a room, don't bring all your fans or your AC trying to cool off the whole house. Concentrate on one room. The more people in the house, that's when you expand it, okay? And start to move into another room and try to keep it cool or heat it, so on and so forth. Everybody need to stay together in the household because there were, from what I'm hearing on the Ring system, people were still in generators. I didn't leave my generators running all night. I brought mine in and locked them up. I didn't leave my solar panels out all night. And I'm going to tell you why I did not do that. Every day, I was bringing everything in and out first thing in the morning and late at night. It's a reason I did that. Just because you live in a decent neighborhood means nothing. Just because you live in a nice neighborhood means nothing. Just because you paid $1 million for your house don't mean nothing. Desperate people do desperate things. It don't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter in a situation like this. It doesn't matter your income. It doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter. Did you use your mini split? I didn't use no air conditioning whatsoever. I didn't use my EcoFlow Wave. I didn't use it. I didn't use anything. And there's a reason for that. I didn't use those things because they still, even though they're very low on power consumption in a real, true to God grid down situation like this, the last thing I was thinking about was being comfortable. Now, if I had an elderly person in the house, if I had a baby in the house, if I had a person with some kind of illness or ailment in the house and they needed that, they needed the air conditioning, then yes. But see, this ain't about being comfortable. I didn't use certain things. Like, I'm still wearing the same damn shirt y'all been seeing me in the last few days. And yes, it does smell like it look. Because you got to keep on wearing clothes, piling clothes up, wearing clothes, piling clothes up, back and forth, and nothing is getting clean. So you really gotta dig deep and do what you gotta do. There was no hot water. No, I didn't waste any of my propane on the heated shower unit, even though, like I said, in a real grid down situation, that stuff is nice. That stuff is a blessing. But if you do not have to use your resources, don't do it. Did you use a particular generator for the fridge freezer? Yes. I used the Delta Pro 3. The new Delta Pro 3 ran my deep freezers, and the Delta 2 Max ran my refrigerator. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm glad y'all coming with these questions. I wanted to do water filtration, but y'all really need to know this. With my deep freezer, I got 2 big deep freezers. I did not keep the power running on those. As a matter of fact, I didn't cut power on to the deep freezers for probably 2 days. If your deep freezer is packed full of meat like mine, there is no reason for you to keep the power just draining off of your emergency equipment. Your deep freezer is going to stay solid for at least 2 to 3 to 4 days, probably even a week, depending on the efficiency. I cut my power back on. I opened it up. I think I released that video, didn't I? I released that video. I went live and showed you what's in my deep freezer. Still everything rock solid ice. So after that, I cut the power on it. I left the power on it overnight. And then in the morning, I cut it off. Get everything ice cold again, cut it off. I still haven't charged my Delta Pro 3 at all, because that's how I was using it. Remember, your deep freezer is just like an ice chest. It's just like a good ice cooler. It's not going to let any heat in. Now, if you keep going in and out of it every 5 seconds, you're going to waste energy. So that's why I say everybody need a plan. You need a list of everything in your deep freezer, and don't go opening and closing the door every 5 seconds. If you know, okay, we need some chicken legs, which freezer is it in? It's here and it's buried deep. Well, how long is it going to take us to get that chicken at the bottom of the freezer? Because that's going to mess up our cooling. You got to use your head with everything. The refrigerator, left that closed. Unless we needed to go in there, ain't no looking in here like, what I feel like eating, do. No, before I put my hands on that refrigerator, I have a plan. What am I about to eat? I know what's in there. Which one of those am I about to eat? What's your thoughts on What's my thoughts on interlock kit with Delta Pro for the whole house power? Would a large generator be best? It all works. But like I said, I pick and choose which circuit I want. So I didn't use the whole house system, the smart panel. I actually didn't use it. I used it once, and then I cut it off. I know it runs my whole house, but the problem with me is there are vampire watts. You know what those are? Vampire wattage are things like the lights on the front of your microwave, the clock on the front of your microwave, the clock on the front of your your coffee maker and your ice machine and the clock on your stove and your refrigerator and every little tiny light, your kid's night light, the motion sensor light in your bathroom, all of those little tiny circuits, they sip energy to the point you will turn around and wonder why are you pulling 500 watts and nothing is on. Because what'll happen is you'll turn around and you didn't think about all the little things that's running. Your Alexa might be on running, all your smart devices are plugged in. You ain't paying it no mind. So what I like to do, I like to use everything directly and separately. That's why I got all my units out here. Because I can physically touch everything that I need done. I don't need to plug in my coffee maker. I boil my coffee and I don't need to use the grinder. You understand? It's just things start getting unnecessary. And then you start wasting power. You start wasting you start wasting energy and you don't know where it went. I don't do that at all. Now, again, for whole house power, Delta Pro 3 and the Delta Pro Ultra, excellent. Excellent if, for me, now this is for me, say I had somebody with a health condition, some babies, someone with, I don't know, elderly, somebody that needs real, true, constant power. I would have kept my Delta Pro Ultra hooked to the house and diverted that circuit to whatever room that they're in so they can get their whatever energy they need for whatever device they have. Other than that, I promise you, God is my witness. I cannot make this up. Me and my wife, every single day, we take a couple of generators up. We take the new Delta 3. We take the new Delta 3 with us, and we take the, believe it or not, we take the Delta 3 and we take the Anker, I forget the name of it, the Anker 1000. Take that upstairs. That's going to keep the fans running and our phones charged and everything else that we need up there. You don't need a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. You don't need all your plugs and outlets going, because another thing you should be thinking about, another thing you should be thinking about, not yet, but I'm working on it. Flashlights. I don't need all my lights on. I don't need the porch lights on. I don't need any lights on. We carried flashlights through this house constantly. Question: do you know if you can use the Blue Eddy solar panels with the EcoFlow Delta Pro charger? Yes, you can. Hey, Fresh and Fire says, hey, Led, glad to see y'all power back. Fire had to educate co-workers that had no idea generators with solar panels even existed. Told them to come over, and thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And to all of them that's watching, thank you for coming over, and I hope you learned something. I really want to filter water, but we got a lot of questions here, and we may have to do another water filter video because you're not ready for this anyway, I promise you. Cut out. But keep it coming. So mine is 25,000 watt hours. That's good. I don't waste power. I don't care how much I have. I do not waste it. All right? None. Here, for instance, I showed y'all this, and I can't make this up, okay? This is how we lit up our house at night. Old school. Believe it or not, a small part of me, and I want to watch how I say this because I don't want to offend the people that lights are still out. There is a small part of me that liked this part of it, being off grid, total off grid. When I'm on Freedom Makers, listen, I literally enjoy myself because I don't ever have to worry about how much money I owe somebody. I don't ever have to worry about somebody sneaking and stealing energy costs from me. This, I control everything. I was able to control the cost and the outcome of my every waking moment. I didn't have to trust somebody that I've never seen before with wires hooked to my house telling me I'm using this much energy. No, I knew how much energy I was using because I poured it in there. And I knew if I'm using too much, turn it down a little bit. I knew that if I do not need this, turn it off. Save my fuel. This is a small part of me that does miss the off-grid part. That's why I'm always at Freedom Acres. There are so many things that you could do and learn. For instance, here's one for you right here. You see what that is? All this is the top. You can buy these separate. Did you know that? And they fit right on top of a mason jar. Can you do the water filter tomorrow? I'm getting a 20-gallon blue plastic. Yes. You could just buy this. It's $5. And put this on a standard ball mason jar or any kind of mason jar. And what you have here, now you might not have the lid to it, but that don't cost anything either. You got a whole lantern right there for nothing. For nothing. And you can control the outcome of the power that you use. Thought about building my own battery pack. You know what? I'm going to tell you why building your own battery pack, to me, I have a system. But the thing about that is, I don't care what anybody tells you. If they're telling you the truth, they're going to tell you this. Technology has changed. Technology has changed. Everything that you would buy is right inside of one of these. If you wanted to open this up and work on it, you could. When you go buying all these different parts, one, you got to hope that they match up. Number two, you got to hope you got the right wiring. Number three, you got to hope you got the right voltage and everything right and the fuse is right and everything else. And then you got to worry about, I hope I don't blow my head off putting this together. If you are not skilled at hooking up a home house system, don't do it, or get some knowledge. Get knowledge. Don't just go in there picking around with a screwdriver and a wrench, trying to put that system together. As easy as it is, some people just ain't that safe, man. When you're messing with batteries, people don't look at these batteries, I guess because they're so small. Have you ever been shocked by your own car battery? I have. I think I was around 18, 19 years old, my first car. Let me tell you something. It taught me a lot. It taught me this ain't no toy. You can't even play games with your lawnmower battery. You can't play games with your kids got one of those little Power Wheels with the 2 little batteries in it. Don't play games with those. How stable is kerosene for storage? I don't know. All I know is when it comes to kerosene, this is the same kerosene I've had for probably 2 years. So I don't know. It works. And you don't have to use kerosene. You can use cooking oil. You can use vegetable oil. You can use all that. And if your grease is too thick, like bacon grease and old fish grease, something you've been cooking fish, you can still cut that with 90% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, 90%, and thin that out, and it will burn. But people don't do no research and figure this stuff out, right? Everybody is it's so much knowledge out here for you to get and learn, so you'll be ready for something like this. I watch all these neighbors around here scrambling around in the dark. I watch all these people panicking. I watched for a week. I watched all these people panicking every single day. Everybody was sitting outside because ain't nobody got no air conditioning, and everybody was sitting on their porch murmuring and pandering and didn't know what to do next. While I'm sitting there talking to y'all on the video, giggling like a schoolgirl, because I'm ready. They heard my gas generators humming. Guess what? Maybe day number 4, I started hearing gas generators. But then you couldn't find gas generators no more. Does the higher EcoFlow products cut the cost of some of the parts needed when you set up your solar piece by piece? I'm going to say this. When you buy any solar power generator, do not factor in the cost because it's equal. I promise you this. Now, I'm going to tell you where that is where people don't tell the whole truth when it comes to building your own system. They'll tell you building your own system is way cheaper, right? It is not anymore. It used to be until technology stepped its game up over the last 3 years. It's not equal anymore because the system that you will build, this is where they get you, because they're not lying when they say it's cheaper to build your own. They're not lying to you. That's why I said they're not telling you the full truth. Okay? They're not lying when they say it's cheaper to build your own system. But where they're not telling you the full truth is, man, they out getting some wiring off of old vacuum cleaners and stuff like that. They got you doing all kind of crazy stuff like that, and they nitpicking stuff, right? And they're building this crap, and they're not telling you. They're saying it's cheaper for them to build it, but they also are not telling you that what they're doing is dangerous. Okay? So if you buy quality materials, the actual right gauge wire that you need for your system, you are putting in the right lithium batteries for your system, and you're putting in the right inverters and the right charge controllers paired along with the right solar panels, you're gonna be paying either even, or you're gonna be paying more to build your own if you do it properly. And here's the other thing: you gotta put all that stuff somewhere. I can pick this up and leave. That's 1,000 watts I can pick up and leave. If you set up 1,000-watt system out here, it's there. You ain't taking it nowhere. For everybody, you asking about the Crisco candle. I just had it right here. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. What'd I do with it? All right. For everybody wondering about the Crisco candle, you literally, if you didn't see my video on making the Crisco candle, it's so easy. Go get you some old jar, again, old jar, and that's butter flavored Crisco in there. Okay, now here's the one, my old candle. That's just plain old. I think this one is lard, just lard and a cotton string. You know, on these other videos, what they'll show you what you got to do is melt this oil, put a weight at the bottom of the string, put a pencil or something across the top like this, tie it on there so it can stand up straight. Don't waste your time. Because once that solidifies, that candle won't be ready until tomorrow sometime. You need this candle right now. You take you a spoon and pack this jar full of Crisco or some kind of oil, right? You take your cotton shoestring or your cotton little thread, you put it on the end of a number 2 pencil and wrap it around the end of that number 2 pencil, like make it go under like this. Hold on to it and mash it down there and pull your pencil up. It'll stay in there. As soon as you start burning that, it'll melt the rest of the liquid around it and it'll settle itself. And I'm going to show you what I do. Every night that either me or my wife had to leave, this is what we did. This is what we did. Dang, I'm trying not to burn myself here, but I'm failing. Okay, I would light my candle. I would put it down in one of these cheap Walmart cookie jars like this, or a big tall pickle jar, and set it in here and put it out on my porch. This was my porch light. If you can't, here's the thing about candles. A lot of people got candles in their house already for sending up their house, but a lot of people don't. Right? So here you go. You got some old cooking grease that you've been wanting to get rid of up in the cabinet somewhere. I know you do. Everybody do. There you go. You put that out, and that will light up your whole front of your house. It'll light up your whole porch. So when somebody come home in the car and got to get out the car to get up to the house, you got some lighting. We did this, and the neighbors walking by. I could see them walking by, looking at my house like it's Halloween. It ain't Halloween. This is real. Okay? So that's a Crisco candle right there for you. The reason why I couldn't find them because I forgot. I was about to put them back out on the front porch. All right? I was about to set them on the front porch because I thought our power was going to stay out. All right. So it's so much that I learned. Here's the other thing. Here's something else. You need one room for all of your stuff, all of the people, where you're going to be cooling, where you're going to be heating the family. One room. But you need one power command station. I don't care where it is, whether it's in your shed, your garage, your house, whatever. When it comes to solar power, where is all of your plugs and wires coming from and going to? You can't have them doing this, and you can't be running. Oh my God, I'm going to skip that and get on this. Little itsy bitsy little drop cords. Please spend some money and get a decent gauge drop cord for what you're doing. Okay, please. Because what you don't know is you'll be bringing in so much energy from the sun or your gas generator that you don't know that wire is starting to get hot. Every now and then, reach down and feel that drop cord and see, is it warming up or not, okay? Especially in the warmer months like fall, spring, and summer. Reach down and feel that drop cord, especially if they're in the sunlight. Reach down and feel that thing. Now, if it's getting hot, like to the touch, you might want to back off. And like, listen, we're going to have to figure out something else for power tonight because these cords is getting too hot. Because this is a true story, and I've told y'all part of it. When I told you I used to own property back in my old hometown, one of my buildings burned up. And it was because some nitwit hooked together some janky ass drop cord and they ran it from the backyard. No, I'm sorry. No. His mama lived downstairs. He was hiding in the attic. So no, I'm still wrong. Still not right. That was my downstairs tenant. She lived upstairs. He was hiding and living in the attic. They ran a whole bunch of these little janky ass drop cords up into the attic. This fool had a microwave. He had a, what was that game back in there? Sega, Sega Genesis. He had a toaster. He had a black and white TV. He had a heating blanket. Remember, we in Ohio. It's snow outside. That cord caught on fire going all the way up them stairs and burned my whole apartment building down. Now, this is a true story. Now, here's the other part to that. They was trying to get me for arson because they said, well, the tenants said it was me, but they didn't know that they was harboring a fugitive that had deleted his girlfriend. That's a Toledo, Ohio story. To this day, believe it or not, that happened in my apartment building. He deleted his girlfriend. That was his mama that I was renting to, and she was hiding her son in the attic. So when my house burnt down, they blamed it on me, said I'm a slumlord. Come to find out, they investigated me and everything and asked me who was I renting to in the attic. I said, I ain't renting nothing in the attic. Matter of fact, I probably been in the attic 3 times when I bought the house, and a couple times I just was up there messing around. I've never been in the attic. Then they saw toasters, a bed, a microwave, a TV, and once they found all that stuff, and then they followed the trail. This is why they thought it was arson, because they thought I took like some butane or lighter fluid and ran it down the steps to burn the house up. What that line was, after they did all their testing, it was an extension cord. They finally caught that dude because of what happened at my house. And the mama went to jail, and I think that whatever he was to her, he didn't make it. So I know what the power of a cheap drop cord will do. It will burn your house down. It will catch on fire like a fuse. The whole thing. It'll burn up whatever it was plugged up to, and it will burn up whatever it was coming from, and the whole thing will burn like it was gunpowder. That's exactly what it looked like in my burnt up house when it was over with. So I'm just trying to tell y'all, it's certain stuff, please. You know what? Here's a 14 gauge. Here's a 14 gauge drop cord. Really, this ain't even really good enough. But this is a 14 gauge drop cord, okay? This worked for what I was doing. I wasn't running any high-powered equipment like stoves, refrigerators. I was not doing any of that. I wasn't running microwave ovens, none of that. This was just to keep the lights on, the fans going, and help me charge other things. If you need to be running things like deep freezers, refrigerators, and microwaves and stuff like that, you need to go get the right grade, right gauge drop cord that you're going to need for that. The longer you need, like if your generator is way out there, the longer that it has to be, the thicker that it has to be. Okay? So, I'm just saying. So, anyway, family, I'm just trying to help you out with a few things that I already know. How you feel about wind generators as a supplement? Do you have one? Do you have a wind generator? Or do you know anybody that has a wind generator? Anybody? If you know anybody with a wind generator, let me know. Should you have a circuit breaker connected to the drop cord? The circuit breaker is built inside of your generators. Here's another one. I'm gonna have to change the title of this one because we really getting into it right now. They don't make. Curious, did e-bikes come in handy this time around? Yes, yes, and I'm going to show you one of them that I used is new. I actually used two of them because jumping in your car wasting fuel right now is not a good idea. It was times where I'm just going around the corner to grab XYZ and coming right back. I wouldn't even use the scooters. So I tested out two e-bikes and I'll be releasing those soon. Thank you, Audrey's Living Life. So your channel saved my life in a lot of hardship this last 6 days. Thank you. I was hoping somebody got something good out of it. Dusty says, I run a wind generator into one of two MPPT chargers on my solar generator. Okay, so Dusty, how do you feel about your wind generator? Hey, Annette, how you doing? Say, I have a dual generator, but haven't bought the turbine yet. Turbine. Is it better to have a transfer switch for a generator? A transfer switch? I don't understand what you're talking about. Say, apartment dweller. I wish I could put small wind turbines on a huge, on your windowsill outside your windows. Where would the air go? See, the thing about a wind turbine is you have to have wind. Just like a solar panel, you got to have sunlight. And it's always more sunlight than wind, depending on where you are. Oh, you got the nature's generator, Annette? Okay, I knew something. I knew it was something. Okay. So everything I used, it was bare minimum. It was bare minimum. So we never used any air conditioning unit at all. All we used was box fans, period. That was it. We didn't get into the, I need to stay cold and the showers. Frankly, it's so hot. We was taking cold bird baths and cold showers. It didn't feel bad. And that's the thing. Why would you waste your resources, say your propane, on heating some water so you can wash up? You know? Question, is fire pit charcoal adequate for water filtration? Fire pit charcoal, I don't know what that is. When you say fire pit charcoal, what are you talking about? What are you referring to? I'm just telling everybody what we did. You know, it got gritty. Luckily for us, bad charcoal, no. Yeah, only use hardwood 100%. I put in the last video, 100% hard lump charcoal. Do not use Kingsford and briquettes and that. Don't use that. If you're talking about wood that's been burned in your fire pit, depending on what wood it was, yes. Okay, Patient Saint, we were able to shelter in place in Conyers, Georgia due to the fire. Thanks to all we've learned since 2020 on this channel, we are able to shelter in place and not have to worry about the essentials. Thank you for that, Patient Saint. Thank you for that. Ingrid says, I made that the filtration system from one of your videos. Yes, people, it works. It works. I can't wait to really do the water filtration video, okay? Because the one that I'm working on now, I'm working on the biofilter. I really, really, really want that one working, because that one, they are using that in third world countries, and it's no more than just charcoal and sand. It's not even gravel in this thing. Charcoal and sand. Now, thank you so much, the Trying Gardener. Now I'm going to talk about one other thing while we're all here. Where did you find the charcoal? Go to anywhere. Go to Home Depot, Lowe's, anywhere got it. Thank you, Patient Saint. Let me see. No, I don't use the green. When I make my water filter, I don't use leaves, pine needles. I don't use all of that stuff. Okay. Yeah, Dusty, but making activated charcoal when you out here off grid and on the road, that's not practical. That's not practical. Everybody is not going to either have activated charcoal, and it's almost impossible to make activated charcoal if the grid is down. It's going to consume entirely too much energy to make it. So that's why I don't talk about activated charcoal in this situation. If you put coloring in the water, it's just enough to tint. You'll see it works. Yes, I actually had some black tea, and I ran black tea through this system right here, and it was black tea, and it came out. You could see straight through this glass, so it actually works. Okay. Now I want to touch on one thing before we mess around and end this live. Listen, how many people heard about they have going on strike? The dock workers, the port workers have went on strike. Has everybody heard about the port workers going on strike? Everybody let me know if you've heard about the port workers going on strike. Say yes or put your hand up, me. If not, just say you haven't heard anything about it. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation, everybody. All right. Everybody's heard about the port strike. It is on. Now, I'm not about to do scare tactics. I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to be as logical as I can possibly be. When it comes to spending your money, please prioritize. I just seen one word that just makes me sick to my stomach is toilet paper. Purchase toilet paper. Let toilet paper be the last thing you buy. Please do not spend all of your money and resources on wiping your behind. Please don't rush out there taking all the toilet paper. You spend $500 on toilet paper, but you ain't got no food. Prioritize, please. Now, with that being said, you're going to need backup of water. You're going to need water storage. Do me a favor. Go on Facebook Market. Go on Facebook Market. Go on Facebook Market. And all throughout Facebook Market in every city and state, they have 55-gallon pickle drums. I have 60-gallon pickle drum, or 65, something like that. Pickle drums. Go to Facebook Market and purchase the 55-gallon plastic pickle drums. They usually cost anywhere, depending on where you are. If they are pickle drums, they are going to cost you anywhere from $30 to $50 a piece. Okay? Depending on who's selling them. Purchase as many of these pickle containers as you can at a time. Don't be stupid, okay? If you can only afford two, get two. If you can only afford one right now, get one. I've been purchasing them for years, so I buy them 2 at a time, 4 at a time, 2 at a time. I might get one. That's what I do. Now, you go home, you take that pickle bucket to the house, rinse it out real good, little soap and water, little bleach ain't never hurt nothing. Pour that out and fill that completely up. Put it somewhere that you don't want to be able to move it because you ain't moving it, okay? Even with a hand truck. Wherever you're going to want this to stay for good, fill it up. Take your water hose, fill it up with water. Put that rubber seal, got a rubber seal on it. Put that lid and that seal back on it and walk away. Don't put any water clarifier or purifier tablets or nothing. Don't put no bleach in it. Leave it alone. You put that somewhere in your yard or in back of your house or even inside your garage and walk away. Every time you get one of these 55-gallon pickle drums, or some of them be having cooking oil, whatever in it, fill it up, clean it out, fill it up with water, walk away. If you want to go one step higher, go get you one of those big old USB totes, and they can run anywhere from 250 to 450 gallons. If that's what you want to do, I got a couple of them, but I only got 2, and it's a reason for that. Now, they'll cost you around $100 a piece. So reason why I like them. I'd rather have my pickle drums, though. Because in an emergency, if I had to, I can move the pickle drum. Those water totes ain't going anywhere. And it's hard to get them home if you ain't got a trailer. And trust me, I love them, and I got 2 of them out on my land. But I really prefer my pickle drums. Now, and the IBC totes are clear. So if you don't wrap those with black plastic or black tape or something, what's going to happen is the sunlight is going to create algae inside those tanks, and it's going to make it almost toxic for you to drink. Yes, Sweetie and Oliver. Those big clear ones, you'll see somebody, they say they got a little, mobile car washing business. Now I'm going to tell you another one. I'm going to throw you one more. If you know where, you have a car wash somewhere near your house, in your neighborhood, in your area? Anybody got car washes? Anybody? Like a drive-through car wash. Not one of these hand wash ones. If you have a drive-through car wash, say me. I'm going to throw you one right now. If you have a drive-through car wash, they throw those, let me remember, 20, I think though, because I got about 6 of them, 20-gallon clear soap containers. They throw them away. They will leave them in the back. This is every car wash I've ever dealt with. They'll leave those containers in the back of the doggone place until the garbage truck come, and the garbage man get out. Once he dumped their trash, he get out and throw all them containers in the trash. There's nothing toxic inside of these drums. It was just soap. And all you do, you rinse it out just like you would rinse out that pickle bucket, and then you fill it with water. And I've had those clear containers, those 20 gallons containers. I almost want to say they was 30 or 40 gallon. Probably, I want to say 12 years. And they're still holding the same water that I put in them, let's just say 10 years ago. Like I've used them a few times. Let's just say 8 years ago. Yeah, they will still hold water. So I'm telling you this, so it's something so easy that you can do, and they'll give them away for free. They give them away for free. So if you don't have the money or $20 or $50 to go get a pickle drum, and you don't have the money to go get an IBC tote, you gotta listen. The car wash always giving those 20, I think they 20 or 40 gallon little plastic drum with a little handle on it. They'll give them away for nothing. I still have them. They're literally out on my land. And I have these drums all around my yard here, and I have them all around my land there. Just in case, okay, that one ran out, but we over here, we can stop and get some water, purify it, and drink. It's just simple stuff. Just that's stocking up your water supply. So before you use the water, either use your water purification tablets, use one of your smart drinking straws, whatever, life straws or something like that, or use your Berkey. Make sure you boil it, even if no matter what, boil it first, then run it through stuff. Okay. So I'm just throwing little common sense stuff out there, because it ain't so common sense anymore. And you know, I'm not blaming anybody for not knowing this stuff. I'm not. I'm gonna stop doing that. I do already. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna stop blaming people for not knowing this knowledge. Because this system that they made for us is built for all of us to be this out of touch with reality. I said it. I said it. This system is built for you not to know anything, because the things that we're doing right now, how many people agree with me right now that everything that we're going through these storms that we all encounter, no matter where you live in the United States, should be taught in school? From preschool until you graduate out of college. I don't care what your major is in college, you need to take something. Carpentry, fire starting, water filtration, biology, home economics. These are things that's going to keep your butt alive. I'm going to say this, and I hope the powers that be hear me this time. Being a Boy Scout or being a Girl Scout should be a class throughout the grades, from pre-K until you're done with school. It's Boy Scouts of America and Girl Scouts of America should not be a separate entity from the things that, from reading, writing, and arithmetic. That should not be, because you know what you can get through life doing? You can get through life not reading. Listen to me close on this. There's a lot of homeless folks out there and people that cannot read a single word. They cannot read their own name. They're surviving better than all of these people that's going through this hurricane right now. There are certain things more important than reading. Surviving is number one. It should be survival, reading, writing, arithmetic. You can get through this life without learning 2/3 of that crap, right? There is no excuse for this. There is no excuse why our children don't know. So I'm going to stop lightweight blaming people, and I always be like, y'all get off the video game stuff. I'm going to stop blaming you for that. And I am going to point the finger at the system. There is no reason why this shouldn't be in our educational system every single day, every day. every day. This should be a class, and it should be graded on. Just like, look, not gymnastic, gym. You shouldn't be having a survival class before you do gym. You should be having a survival class before you have music class. You should be having a survival skill before all of those extra. When I was younger, they had we had grids in every school I went to, where I was in carpentry all of my school life. I took carpentry classes. One year, all the carpentry classes was taken. I took home ec. We had a choice. My brother took welding and auto mechanics. My cousin took auto mechanics. My other cousin took, what is that, where you work with small appliances? They had this in every school. So once we all graduated from high school, we all basically had a skilled trade. So when we went to go apply for jobs in the 80s, they asked you, what do you know how to do? I'm a welder, not by certification, but by skill, because I went through a skill center and I got a little certification from 4 years of high school with it. That was enough to get you through the door to become an apprentice in one of these big places, like one of the auto worker places. That was enough just to squeak you through the door, become an apprentice, and then earn your journeymanship and actually be a certified licensed welder or a certified licensed plumber or a pipe fitter. They don't do that anymore. They got you coming out of high school, starting on the ground, face down. They don't even got you, they don't make it no kind of way where you got a couple of little notches under your belt. Son, it's inexcusable, man. I'm sorry. I want to talk back about, before I go, because I don't want to keep this on long. Before I go, I want to say this. The port's closing, because that's where we started this at. Please make wise decisions. Now, I'm going to tell you as honest as I possibly can, as logically as I possibly can, which I said before. Everybody is going to be lying to you and tell you nothing is going to happen. I have heard so many, and I'm going to call names. I have heard so many idiots. I'm going to call names. I don't know how long my phone was off. Morons tell y'all that nothing is going to happen when these ports shut down. If you listen to that, and you don't do anything, you gonna get what you deserve. This is how this is gonna play out. Nothing's gonna happen today. They're on strike. And if they have to force them to go back to work, they can only do that for 90 days. Only 90 days. Let me tell you how it was when we worked in an automotive plant. I'm not gonna say the name, when we went on strike. Oh, if we're forced to work, listen, this is what that's called. If you've never been in the union, if you've never had to fight for your freedom or never had to fight for this is how this works. You're forced to go back inside the building. If the government can force you on something, they can force you inside the building. They cannot force you from taking your sick leave. They cannot force you from not taking your vacation days. They cannot force you how fast you work. They cannot force you on how much production you put out. So even if the government forces those workers back on the line for 90 days, this is how dumb that's going to be. You'll have 90 days with all these men and women on the payroll not producing anything. So that's a double-edged sword that they stabbing them with. You're going to pay them to go in there and play spades and dominoes, because they're not going to put out any work. Pay those people what they're worth. That's the whole thing about this whole American system right now. If you pay people what the hell they worth and go ahead and pay everybody the way it's supposed to be, instead of it being about 5 or 10 billionaires and everybody else is poor, if you pay everybody what they worth, guess what it would do? It would lessen the crime. Because this man ain't got time to be stealing because he's too busy working on a good job, getting paid a decent wage. When you get on a job and you pay people a decent wage, they don't think about quitting. They don't think about missing a day. They don't think about sabotaging the job. They're proud to come to work. When you pay a man a decent wage for what he do and he's earning his keep, he will always show up to work. Even when he's sick, the boss got to send him home. That was me. You got to send me home. I make good money. I worked at the post office. It was hard, horrible work. But boy, they paid me good. So I'm keeping it 100. I ain't going to lie and say they ain't paying you because they paying you. Not fully what you worth, but they paying you. Okay? I'm not talking about paying you enough to keep the lights and the gas on. I'm talking about paying you enough to keep for you to make some power moves. I want to buy a home. I want to buy some land. I want to marry my wife. I want to have 3 or 4 more kids. That kind of money. I want that new washer and dryer set. I want that new refrigerator. I want to remodel my kitchen. That's the kind of money people is looking for. This is 2025. And we're making 1976 wages. And I'm gauging that on the lifestyle that they got us in this system. The prices of everything is going up and the wages are going down. We cannot keep this. This is going to implode on itself. This cannot keep going this way until there's going to be a problem. So this is what's going to happen. Those men aren't going to produce anything even if they're forced to go back to work. Okay? We're still going to have a shutdown. You still won't be getting imports in or out doing anything. If those port workers aren't working, the truck drivers aren't working because they have nothing to ship. Truck drivers ain't working. None of these stores are filled with anything. They won't be working. Come on now. Everybody think everything is going to happen today. It's not. It's a trickle-down effect. See, it's billions of dollars being lost day by day by day, but see, poor man can't see it. Me and you, we can't see that $1 billion trickle down. Now, them billionaires up there, they pooping their pantaloons. Right? They doo-dooing on themselves. But me and you don't see it yet because we still shopping at the Dollar General, Family Dollar, the dollar. So we ain't feeling it until you're going to see prices go up a little bit on fuel, prices go up a little bit on food, and then you're thinking it's going to go to astronomical prices where you can't afford it. No, it's going to keep rising, and then it's just going to be gone. You won't be able to see it. It ain't going to be no cans of beans. It ain't going to be no bags of rice. It ain't going to be nothing. You're waiting on these prices to keep hiking up until you paying $20 for a can of pork and beans. It ain't going to do that. It's not going to do that. It's a can of pork and beans is going to go from $1.75 probably all the way up to $3.25, and then there won't be no damn beans. So you think you still have time. So this is my word to you, only being logical on this whole thing, okay? Don't panic, but you need to be buying things and putting things away right now, slowly but surely, because you're going to mess around and say, oh, ain't nothing wrong. The prices just went up a little bit. Oh, ain't nothing wrong. Oh, I can afford another 20 cents on gasoline. Oh, ain't nothing wrong. They lied to us. Them port workers ain't going to affect the economy. And then the bottom going to fall out. Like I told you, it's a trickle effect where you ain't really gonna notice it until it's gone. Let me break it down to you with this analogy right here. All of the supply system and the supply chains and the things you could just go to the grocery and buy right now. Imagine this. It's just like your wife at home or your husband, ladies. You think everything you doing is right. You think you come home late, you drink too much, you fussing a lot, but they take it. They take it and they take it. One day, you like, oh, she ain't gonna say nothing, man. It's cool if we go out to the club and stay till 4 in the morning. One more time, she don't never say nothing. You gonna come home and you gonna come home to an empty house. It ain't no y'all gonna, see you thinking nothing is wrong in your household because y'all ain't had a knockdown, drag out, back and forth argument. All she doing is writing in her journal every day. Yep, he didn't do this again. Yep, he stayed out till 4 in the morning again. Yep, she stayed out going to see the male strippers again. Yep, they writing this stuff in their journal. And then, dear diary, I've had enough. I'm out of here. That's how this supply chain is going to go. Right now, everybody think everything is good because they announced that they going on strike yesterday. We don't see no effects today. Shoot, gas is still cheap. Everything is still good. Went into Walmart today, bread was on sale. Everything is all gravy. We're going to see a slow trickle up in prices. And all of a sudden, there won't be anything on these shelves. You're going to think you can still handle it because you're like, oh, that's just another 10 cents. I love these beans. So it's going to be trickle, 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 gone. Keep on playing with these people. Just like you keep on thinking your wife ain't serious about leaving. Keep thinking your husband ain't serious about leaving. It's the same thing. This system is built just like this. If you keep abusing the people, they're going to up and leave your ass. That's what's happening. So for all the people that think that those men and women are wrong for walking out, let's play games. Let's play games. Everybody mad because those people make a higher wage than you do. They make a higher wage than you do because they risk their lives every day. See, people like, oh, they making $80,000 a year. What they complaining about? That's because they're not guaranteed that they're going to make it home off that dock every night. See, when I lived back home, when I was younger, everybody used to want to work down on the docks. Not me. You want to know why I didn't want to work down on the docks in Ohio? Because at least once a month, every couple months, you heard about old boy, man, he ain't make it out. They was unloading one of them ships and he didn't make it, man. You fall down in one of them tanker ships, you fall overboard. That's it. So the reason they make those wages, just like those longshoremen and those people that go hunting for your damn salmon and tuna fish, they get paid that much because they're not guaranteed nor promised that they're going to make it home to see their families after they done. I heard one man say one thing. During the crisis of 2020, when everybody was sick, they could not take a day off, just like postal workers. You're here. We need you or the whole country gonna go under. Period. Everybody else had to pick and choose. Some places shut down. Some places never had to come back to work. There were certain people, man, that went out there risking their lives every single day. Medical professionals and everything, risking their lives to make sure your life is okay. And here we are. And they still ain't, listen, these people got us through 2020 to today because people still get sick. They got us through with all the supplies, and the supply chains still have not been fully recovered yet. Gas is still high. Supplies are still lingering. They still trying to play catch up from 2020. And you still don't, do you think that will fast track automation. Let me tell you something about automation. I'm glad you said that. You know, I'm going to use this as an example with automation. You know, I used to work at Daimler Chrysler Jeep. They laid off a lot of people when I got hired in 2000. They laid off a lot of people. And I was just what they call a TPT. I was supposed to be just temporary. You know what happened to me? I got hired on permanent after the first 30 days. I'm going to tell you why. Because they laid off so many people with all this new so-called fandangled automatic robots and computers everywhere. They got rid of all the forklift drivers and everything. And you got these robots following little paint strips through the building. You know what happened? They had to hire a whole new crew. Remember the year they had the automotive bailout? That was one of the reasons. Because they put too much stake and trust into automation and technology. Automation can't fix itself yet. Automation can't program itself yet. Man still has to do that. And sometimes, here's another thing. Let's talk about the word friction. Everything that's automatic, everything that's computerized, everything that's artificial has friction. Friction is the worst thing known to man. Friction is the only one of the things that mankind ain't figured out yet when they build one of these robots. See, what God did, he made us where we don't have friction. Your joints, your muscles, your tissue, nothing is rubbing on one another and needs an extra little bit of lubricant. He made our bodies so perfect inside and out that you don't need oil can. God made us in his image to the point, think about it, there is no friction. Now, when it comes to robots, even computers, there is friction. There is the friction of energy, atoms, molecules. What does that friction do? It heats up. That's why you have to put fans in things. What do fans do? Fans are ran off of friction. Even if they're magnetic, that stuff rusts out. Here's the other thing. With all that friction, things heat up. With all that friction, things rust out. With all that, things kink up and lock up. When that happens, things go bad. This doesn't work anymore. The only thing that can come in and fix that is us. We have no friction. Here's another one for you. Everybody is scared of AI. AI is something to wonder on. But it still ain't even figured this out. You can't, listen, AI, let's not forget this. AI is what? Artificial, don't ever forget that word, intelligence. AI is artificial, let's not forget that word, intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Artificial, meaning it was programmed by us. We are not perfect. So how can an imperfect being create something perfect? It's not even logical when everybody's putting so much stake in it. It's not even logical. My favorite flavor of ice cream, I programmed that in that damn computer. Now it's its favorite taste of ice cream. It won't even care about all the other flavors. So I program this according to me, not knowing that the flavor I like will give you all kind of ailments in the long run. See, family, I'm not worried about automation. When I worked at that plant, all this new fandangle automotive crap, my brother still works there to this very day. To this very day. You want to know why? Because the automation failed. What they had to do now, what they call operators. Now you have what you call an operator. Because the computers couldn't do it themselves. The robots couldn't do it themselves. None of these computers could do it itself. So now they have a couple of men that keep their eye on all this stuff at all times. Let me tell you another thing about automation. Didn't they say that about the checkout lines? That there was going to be no more cashiers? How many people agree with me when I say going through the self-checkout line take longer than dealing with one cashier in one line with a whole bunch of people with baskets full of groceries? You'll be standing in a self-checkout line for an hour and all people got is some diapers, Snicker bars, a pumpkin for some reason, and some pretzels, and they can't boop. Excuse me, where's the lady at? I need something's wrong. You will stand there for a freaking hour instead of just going down there with that one single cashier and taking your stuff, and everybody in front of you got a big basket. How many times you been standing in the checkout lane because everybody got just a couple of items? But you keep seeing the long line with everybody with baskets full of stuff moving faster than you. Like me, I got the self-checkout before he got at the back of this line and he's getting checked out and I ain't even moved yet. Automation for you. I don't believe in it. People put too much stake and too much trust in it. I don't. I trust in God, and God trusted us. He trusted us with all this stuff. All right, he left home with all this. He said, hey, look. This was God said, hey, I'm about to go. Me and your mama about to go to the movie. Me and Mother Nature about to go to the movie, okay? I want y'all to hold this down, all right? Y'all keep this place clean. Don't mess up. Don't have no parties down here while we gone. I'm not playing, all right? And clean that up. Get that up. Y'all clean your room. Keep your house clean. Keep your house clean. And me and your mama be back. When we be back, if some stuff is messed up, it's going to be people answering for that. Didn't God say that in the Bible in so many words? Remember, don't make us come down there. When I come back, it's going to be a problem. If you ain't did what I told you to do by the time I get back, it's going to be a problem. Ain't that what God said? You can put the scripture in there, everything I just said, ain't it? It ain't no different than your real mama and daddy down here on earth. God told us the same thing in the Bible. He said, be a watchman over all this stuff. This ain't yours. It's mine. But I need you to watch it. Okay? Keep your eye on everything. Keep stuff clean. Keep your house clean. Keep your house clean. All right? Follow all the rules I wrote on the board, the commandments. And if you got any problem, call me and your mama. We'll be at the movies, okay? Left the phone number in that book. Your mom and daddy said the same thing when they was going to the movies, didn't they? God is saying the same thing to us. We ain't paying no attention because we putting too much focus on automation and robots and nonsense and crazy rich people. Everybody keep thinking that we're so different and the things we went through our lives, then we're literally living the Bible when you don't pay no attention. You think it's different when your mom and daddy tell you, keep the house clean. I'm giving you authority over your brothers and sisters. You the oldest elder. So I need you to make sure your little brothers and sisters do what they're supposed to do. Make them do their chores and keep this house clean. When I come back, listen now, don't just sound biblical. When I come back, if everything ain't done that I put on this board, 10 Commandments, it's going to be hell to pay. Literally. So I don't care about automation. Them dock workers, they'll always have jobs. Always. And I'm going to say this again. I'm going to bring this a whole full 360. There's parts about living off grid and parts about this grid down situation that I do like and I do miss. And I'm not saying this to kick nobody or put no lemon juice in nobody's wound that lights and stuff still ain't on. I'm saying this because I like the part of we all need to be doing this on a regular basis. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the grid should be shut down probably 2 days a week, so everybody can get back to knowing how to handle these situations when it really does hit us out of the blue. You know how many people don't have a clue for something literally natural that happens every single year, several times a year? And they didn't have a clue. It's people out here driving $100,000 cars, but don't got a damn $200 generator. I think everybody needed this swift kick in the pants. I do. I know I'm not talking about people that had to lose their lives or got hurt or damaged, because that ain't what I mean. I'm just saying we need this. This is the awakening, and people don't even see it as such. This is to wake us up. Look what we're doing. We're doing it wrong. We're depending on man. We're depending on machines. We're depending on man's law. Nothing we do is biblical anymore. Nothing. And I feel that we need that, because I'm going to tell you what this grid down situation did for a lot of people. I'm going to tell you, when I'm on that land and when I deal with stuff like this, I'm going to tell you what it did for me. It humbles your ass. Some people cannot be humbled. They got to be forced to be humbled. When you have to poop in a bucket, boy, that's humbling. When you have to wash up in a 5-gallon bucket, boy, that's humbling. When you ain't got no water and you got to beg your neighbor for a cup of water, that's humbling. When you ain't washed up in 3 or 4 days, not because you don't want to, it's because you can't, that's humbling. The thing about a grid down situation with the lights out like it is now, the thing about it that's nice, I feel it brings you closer, number one, to God. It also brings us closer to the real reason we were all put here. And I'm going to tell you why. I gave somebody a generator today. Let me tell you something. He don't know who I was voting for, and I don't know who he was voting for. I don't know if he liked the color of my skin, and he don't know if I like the color of his skin. You know what happened there in that Walmart parking lot? I seen a man and his wife in desperate need. You know what I'm sure he saw in that parking lot? A man that can help him with his problems, to help him take care of his family. In that moment, there was no black, no white, no Mexican. In that moment, there was no Democrat, there was no Republican, there was no middle of the line. In that moment, there was no Kamala, there was no Donald. In that moment, it was one human being that had something extra, that was blessed with something that I could help you with. And I know I'm going to say it again. There's parts about this grid down situation that I will miss. Because at that very moment in the Walmart parking lot, while we was blocking one lady in that was trying to leave, I guarantee you this, there was no racism. There was no hatred. There was need and there was grace. He needed a generator and I was gracious enough to give him one. That's what I miss about these times. There was nothing about race or politics or none of that. Humbling. Even if he didn't like the color of my skin and he didn't like who I was voting for, he needed that generator so bad that he had to humble himself to look past that to get that generator from me. Hopefully, if that was the case, someday he'll say, you know, ran into this one big black guy at Walmart. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have made it through that storm. He got us a generator. He didn't have to give it to us. I gave it to him almost damn near free because I know good and well it's 3 times the cost. Man, he didn't have to do that. No matter what he say, me and God know the truth of what happened in that parking lot. So that's the part that I will miss about these grid down situations. Because when we have survival camp, you know what's sweet? If you forgot a supply, I got it. If you can't set your tent up, I can help you. If you need something to eat because your food went bad, I have plenty. It teaches you humility and to humble yourself and become one as we are supposed to. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, y'all. I want to say thank you for everything. We're going to do the water. We're going to try the water purification again tomorrow. I'm going to change the title of this. But please, if you have any comments whatsoever or any, just put them in the comment section below. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm sorry for not putting all the products up that I've been saying I'm going to put up. You have no idea. I've really been trying to live and survive in this house, you know, and make sure my wife got everything she needs. It's that simple. All right, I'm doing the best I can do. If you need anything, you ask anything, put it in the comment section below, and I do my best to answer it. The only reason I haven't answered lately, because I am literally working around this house like a red fire ant. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Lev Farmer 73. I love all y'all. Please be safe. Go look out for your elders. Go look out for the elderly. Go look out and call people that you ain't sure if they okay or not. Even call a couple folks that you ain't heard from in a couple years before all this mess. Go reach out and make sure everybody is okay. All right? And just you ain't gotta sit there on the phone. I know how you is. Like, man, I don't feel like calling that dude. He don't know how to shut up. Just text him. Text him, okay? Just text him and let him know, man, I'm just thinking about to make sure you was okay. You understand what I'm saying? Old girl, you don't want to call her like, you know, Brenda be gossiping. I don't feel like hearing all that. Text her, email her, just make sure they're okay. All right? Everybody, I love you. If you still ain't got your lights and water and stuff on, put it in the comment section below because somebody may see that and be able to help you in your area. All right? Lev Farmer 73, I love you, and I'm out. Peace.